The reason you fear darkness. It isn't the darkness you should fear. It's what dwells within it, unseen, unheard, until it's far too late. The darkness is merely a canvas, a veil for the true horror to paint its masterpiece. We fear what we don't understand, the things that lurk just beyond the edge of our perception. The entities that watch, that wait, that whisper promises of oblivion from the heart of the void. The sky was a bruised purple, heavy with clouds that clung to the rising moon. A gentle breeze stirred the leaves, carrying the scent of damp earth and something else, something indefinable. The rain had ceased its relentless assault, leaving the world slick and glistening. Water trickled back into the soil, a silent offering to the unseen forces that held dominion over the night. A lone car pulled up to the empty house, its headlights cutting through the gloom. Mary stepped out, her breath misting in the cool air, unaware of the eyes that already watched her. The house stood in stark silence, a black void against the muted landscape. Mary fumbled with her keys, a prickle of unease crawling up her spine. Something felt wrong, deeply wrong. She pushed open the door, the hinges groaning in protest, and stepped into the oppressive darkness. The air was thick, stagnant, heavy with a sense of foreboding that settled on her like a shroud. With a flick of the switch, the overhead light sputtered to life, banishing the immediate darkness. A fragile sense of safety returned, but the feeling of being watched lingered, a phantom touch on her skin. The sudden shrill of the phone shattered the silence, making Mary jump. It rang again, insistent, demanding attention, a discordant note in the otherwise still house. She picked it up, her voice trembling slightly as she answered. It was Hannah, her friend, calling to check in, her voice a familiar comfort in the unsettling atmosphere. Hannah's voice was a lifeline, a connection to the world outside the oppressive silence of the house. But even that lifeline was about to become frayed, twisted, and used against her. A jarring car alarm blared from outside, cutting off Hannah mid-sentence. Mary frowned, her heart pounding in her chest. It sounded like her car. "Hold on," she said, her voice tight with apprehension. She hurried to the window, peering out into the darkness, but saw nothing amiss. The alarm abruptly stopped, leaving an unnerving silence in its wake. Mary returned to the phone, her unease deepening. "False alarm, I guess," she said, trying to sound nonchalant. "Are you sure you're okay?" Hannah asked, her voice laced with concern. "You sound different." Mary frowned. "What do you mean?" she asked, confused. "I'm fine, just a little on edge." Then a voice, identical to Hannah's, whispered from the phone. "Don't trust her, Mary. She's not who she seems." Mary recoiled, her blood turning to ice. "Hannah, did you say that?" Mary demanded, her voice shaking. "Did you just say, don't trust her?" "What? No, Mary, what are you talking about?" Hannah's voice was filled with genuine confusion. "I didn't say anything like that." "Maybe you should get some fresh air," Hannah suggested, her voice strained. "Go for a walk. Clear your head." Then both of them heard it. Hannah's voice whispering from the phone. "Go outside, Mary. It's safe out here." The night air hung heavy, charged with an unseen energy. The silence was no longer peaceful, but oppressive, filled with a sense of dread that seeped into their bones. "Did you hear that?" Mary whispered, her voice barely audible. "Hannah, did you hear your voice?" "Yes," Hannah breathed, her voice trembling. "I heard it." "What is happening, Mary? Are we going crazy?" "I'm going back inside," Mary said, her voice firm despite her fear. "I don't like this. I don't like this at all." "No, Mary, don't!" Hannah's voice was frantic. "Stay outside. Something's not right, I can feel it." Then, a whisper, right in Mary's ear, so close it felt like a breath on her skin. "Stay outside, Mary. Stay with me." It was Hannah's voice, but twisted, corrupted, filled with malevolent intent. Mary screamed and sprinted towards the house, dropping her phone in the process. She fumbled with the back door, her hands shaking uncontrollably. She slammed the door shut, locking it with trembling hands, and turned to face the backyard. And there it was. A figure stood motionless in the darkness, impossibly tall and thin. It was just a silhouette, but Mary could feel its eyes on her, burning into her soul. Mary flicked off the lights, plunging the house into darkness. She stumbled through the hallway, her heart pounding against her ribs like a trapped bird. She reached her bedroom and dove into the closet, burying herself beneath a pile of clothes. The scent of lavender and cedar filled her nostrils, a small comfort in the face of overwhelming terror. She closed her eyes and began to recite the Lord's Prayer, her voice a shaky whisper in the suffocating darkness. Our Father, who art in heaven. After what felt like an eternity, a gentle knock echoed from the back door. Tap, 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 soft, almost hesitant. Mary held her breath, her body rigid with fear. The knocking stopped, and silence descended once more, heavier and more menacing than before. She remained hidden, her muscles screaming in protest, her mind racing with terrifying possibilities. Was it gone? Or was it just waiting? Mary? Mary, are you there? It was Hannah's voice, clear and strong, coming from the back door. It's me, Hannah. I'm here. I called the police. Mary's heart leaped with a surge of hope. Hannah! I'm in the closet! In the bedroom closet! She cried out, her voice cracking with emotion. The closet door creaked open, and Mary braced herself for the sight of her friend. But it wasn't Hannah. It was a figure, shrouded in dark gray, its form indistinct in the dim light. The figure stepped into the closet, and Mary saw it clearly. It was impossibly skinny, its limbs elongated and distorted. A grotesque smile stretched across its face, revealing rows of needle-sharp teeth. It was too tall to be human, its head scraping against the top of the closet. Its eyes were wide and unblinking, black pools that seemed to swallow the light. Mary was paralyzed with fear, unable to scream, unable to move. This was it. This was the thing that had been lurking in the darkness, the thing that had been whispering in her ear. The entity spoke, its voice warm and soothing, yet utterly devoid of emotion. Don't be afraid, Mary. This will all be over soon. You'll wake up, and you won't be able to move. You won't be able to speak. You won't be able to control your body. I'll be inside you, Mary. I'll be the one moving your limbs, speaking your words. You'll be a prisoner in your own mind. The entity's jaw unhinged, splitting open to reveal a blinding light. Mary gasped, her eyes widening in horror. She felt a searing pain in her head, a feeling of being ripped apart from the inside. Then, darkness. A deep, dreamless sleep. She was no longer in control. Mary woke up, but she couldn't move. She couldn't speak. She couldn't even blink. Thousands of voices echoed in her head, a cacophony of whispers and screams. She felt something writhing beneath her skin, a cold, slithering presence that was not her own. Her body moved, against her will, rising from the closet. Her hand reached out, opening the door. Her lips stretched into a grotesque smile. Mary's body walked out of the house into the night, no longer hers. The entity had taken control, leaving her trapped within the confines of her own mind, a silent observer of her own desecration. The true fear isn't the darkness itself, but the unknown entity that consumes and replaces. The entity's control is complete, and Mary is trapped within her own mind. Fear stems from the unknown, not the non-existent. And now Mary knows the unknown, and it has become her.